this is David Englert with KSM-TV, and today we're here with Dr. Semank talking about chiropractic care. And Dr. Semank's been courteous enough to take some time out of his day to speak with us and give you some advice on how to find a good chiropractor in your own area. So, Dr. Semank, we really appreciate you being here.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
So, Dr. Semank, if our visitors are who are watching our show right now, we're looking for a chiropractor in their own area, what kind of advice would you give them first, maybe a first step that they should take in looking for a good chiropractor?
First thing I would always recommend to people is, like, somebody with a good reputation, their name's out there. A lot of times if my patients have moved somewhere and looking for a new chiropractor, I'll have them check out, seems like best, like somebody that does a sports team, like either affiliated with a college team or professional team of that area. It just seems like those guys are used to working with kind of like a better body. The body's a very, God made a great body. It's awesome. It's a real skilled machine, and these guys are working with some of the best skilled machines out there. So their biomechanics, their expertise with all that seems to be a little bit better with that. And so if they can find that, that would be great. Plus, also, so those guys are going to have a great reputation, because no pro athlete or collegiate athlete is going to be going to somebody that's not that good. That's a good start.
Yeah, that's some great advice. If someone's trying to find that information, where might they start? If they're should they maybe check with a sports team, or is there somewhere online that they can look for some of that information?
A lot of times it'll actually show up online when they like Google chiropractors or something like that, because they will typically list that. I know, like on my website, I'll list who I'm affiliated with and things like that. If not, then yes, if there's a college in the town, or even like if there's like a high school that's like the #1 high school or something like that, kind of see who's working on those athletes and things like that.
Huh. Yeah, I would have never thought to do that. That's some terrific advice. Now, is there, as far as chiropractic goes, it's a different kind of a medicine where you're not treating things with drugs, and I'm a proponent of that. I think a lot of people are these days. Is it important, as far as when you're looking for a chiropractor, is it more important to find someone who's been in practice for many years, or are you better off to try to find someone who may have just gotten out of school and maybe has learned the latest and greatest new techniques, or doesn't it make any difference?
I think it makes a difference. It's a little bit of both, though, actually. I mean, you want somebody, just like in anything, the more you've been doing anything, you're going to be better at it. Also, the person's been out there a little bit longer with the experience. They've seen more stuff, so like their diagnosis skills are going to be better. I mean, if you've been out there 25 years, you've probably seen all kinds of stuff come through your office, so you'll be able to pick up on stuff, and then you'll know when to refer out if you don't think you can handle it or something that maybe is not in your expertise. The problem is sometimes if they're out there older, they'll get kind of lazy set in their ways and don't keep up with the new stuff. And there is some new techniques, especially more, again, with the athletic deal, what I was talking about before. The newer techniques are more soft tissue type techniques, working with the actual muscle and not just the spine. A lot of the older chiropractors deal with spine only and don't really incorporate the rest of the body. So that's where maybe the younger guy coming out have a little edge in that degree. Again, that's why I recommend somebody's working with a sports team. They'll typically have both worlds.
Yeah. Yeah, you would. The athletic thing intrigues me, because when you think about that, you've got an athlete who needs to get back on the field and healthy in a hurry. So it is important to find someone who knows how to make that happen. And we're kind of in a society anyway that likes things very quickly. So if you could get yourself healthier in a hurry, that would be a big benefit. So the other thing about chiropractic is a lot of people are a little bit nervous about getting an adjustment. I know my own experience when my first time to a chiropractor, I was actually quite nervous because I had a neck issue, and I wasn't really sure what was going to happen. So I tended to get very tense, and it tightened my muscles up, and it was a bit of a problem there. I just felt very uncomfortable, and I've heard other people say that too. Now, I could say after I had gone through some chiropractic treatment, it really helped me. In fact, I had a herniation in my neck. I had to have surgery. I got a fusion. The neurosurgeon told me that never ever have a chiropractor adjust your neck because it'll cause all these problems. And I had very limited range of motion. And I had a back injury after that, so I went to a chiropractor for the back. He did such a great job on my back, and he convinced me to let him adjust my neck. And I can tell you, within 3 weeks of that adjustment on my neck, I had almost full range of motion restored from where it was before my surgery. So from my own standpoint, the neurosurgeon was wrong. So going there, how could you maybe explain to someone a little bit about how a visit to a chiropractor isn't quite as nerve-wracking or shouldn't be as nerve-wracking as some people might make it out to be?
Yeah, I mean, anything new is going to be making somebody nervous. I mean, even like you go to the dentist to get a tooth pulled or something, or your first surgery, you're going to be nervous, going to anesthesia. So the nervousness is going to be there. It's up to the doctor to make them feel comfortable. I personally always try to explain everything. Don't just jump in there, kind of what's going to happen, kind of give them an explanation of what it's going to feel like. And then basically what you tell people and what chiropractors should be telling people is that, you know, the body is a machine, and I always use an example of like there's gears, and if the teeth and the gears are lined up, the machine will work pretty well. Now that the teeth can get off a little bit and they'll start knocking on each other, you still function, the machine still functions, but over a period of time, those teeth will wear down, and then the gear system blows out and you have to replace it, like with your surgery type situation. Mm-hmm. You want to try to keep that from happening. That's what we do, is generally try to just keep those things lined up, keep that gear, that machine keep working so the teeth don't keep grinding down, to keep you going and the machine keep working. In your situation with surgery, that will tend to tighten things up. Like if you have a cut and a scab, it will heal over tight. And even after that thing heals, you could pull on both sides of that cut and bust the scab open and bleed. Same thing with you. When after the surgery, things will tighten up. The scar tissue, the adhesions will tighten up. You can manipulate above and below that area that he did the surgical fusion and keep those areas in motion. And that's what you want to do, like especially in the cervical spine. There's 7 levels. You want all of them moving as much as possible. Now, if you had 2 levels fused, you want the other 4 or 5 moving. Otherwise, as in your case, they'll start locking down. Pretty soon, they'll actually fuse themselves by, you know, just naturally, and then you'll lose all that range of motion.
Yeah, I felt after going to my adjustment, my chiropractor the first time, once it was done, it was such a relief that the next time I was just so loose and I was ready for it. And now when I go to a chiropractor, I'm completely loose and not no tenseness whatsoever, and I can't wait for the adjustment because you just feel so much better when you leave there. And I've actually heard somebody make a statement that it's sort of like when your brain is communicating with your body, that you've got this pipeline of information, and if it's sort of like kinking a garden hose. If you have water flowing through a hose, if you kink it, it slows down the flow of the water, and the alignment is really, really important to have. So, Dr. Spank, if we had some viewers right now watching, and they're in the Frisco and Dallas area, and they were looking for a chiropractor, and they liked what they heard in reference to the sports treatments, and I know personally, if I was there, I would like to visit you. If they felt like me and they wanted to come to you, what kind of experience would they expect to get?
Well, they would come in, and I actually have 2 locations. They'd come in. The one location we actually are set up, it's pretty much all sports. We actually have professional athletes, collegiate athletes, high school athletes coming through. I have the chiropractic office in there, and we also have a performance in the back where we have high-speed treadmills. We actually have a hockey treadmill to get your skates on and go, and it's geared to basically get people, again, better, faster, increase their performance levels on the field. We work with post-surgical patients, things like that. The other location is geared more of an office type setup. It doesn't have that. But with me, I basically try to make them comfortable. I've been doing this for 25 years. I've been working with professional athletes, all type of athletes. I feel like I understand the body pretty well. Biomechanically, that's the key. If we can get the body functioning the way God designed it to its utmost, then you're going to get well faster. You're going to stay feeling good longer. And I mean, I think I should be able to help most people.
So being that you do work on athletes, what if I know a lot of people are looking at this and they're probably thinking, okay, well, if you're a young person and you're into sports, it'd be great. How would that come into play with someone who's maybe a little bit older and they're kind of beyond the athletic stage of their life? Maybe they're in their 50s or 60s, 70s. How does what you do play into that?
It's kind of back to the whole gear system I explained earlier before. The body wants to move. There's actually been studies done where it kind of sounds cruel, but they actually did a study they took like mice and they would kind of break their leg bones and they kept them moving and moving, and they actually formed a pseudo joint because the body thought it was supposed to move with joints and actually calcified it. Where typically if a joint's not moving, that's why you cast it, say a broken bone, the body will sense that, send calcium to the area and make it form bone and get hard again. So if you're getting older, stiffer, you get some arthritis in there, that joint starts locking down a little bit, the body will start saying, maybe this isn't a joint, we're supposed to fuse it, and it'll start sending calcium, and that's where you get the degenerative spurring, all this kind of stuff you talk about. So on an older person, you want to keep as much movement in there, just like greasing that gear, keeping everything moving, keeping that synovial fluid moving. The longer you do that, the less the degenerative changes, arthritic spurring, and all those negative effects will happen.
Oh, fantastic. So, folks, if you're in the Dallas area, you're in near Frisco, and you would like to go see Dr. Semenk, you can visit him by, we're going to put the number on the screen here. You can call 214-872-3391, or you could visit his website, which is drsam4u.com. So, Dr. Semenk, we really appreciate you being here today and taking the time out of your schedule. And folks, we'll see you on the next episode. Talk to y'all real soon. Bye-bye.